Let's head out into this winter wonderland. Oh, wow. Definitely snowed in. By far, this is the most snow that I've ever been in the vans. It is beautiful out here, though. And I have no equipment for this. I have no shovels. Genuinely have pretty much nothing to get me out of here if I get stuck. I don't know. This snow is pretty deep. We might be screwed here. Good morning. It is a very cold morning. It's about 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which in the grand scheme of things, I guess, isn't really that cold, but waking up in it and not having heat makes it feel a little bit colder. Cooking myself up some breakfast here in our lovely campsite for the night. A Cracker Barrel parking lot. Looks like someone just got here to go to Cracker Barrel, but it is super gloomy out. Slept here last night, rained almost all night, and I think we might be getting into some snow today, either today or tomorrow. It's been snowing up north of here where I'm going. Don't know if it'll still be snowing, but should be at least snow on the ground. And if you've been watching my channel and following along on this road trip, you would know that I made a Korean barbecue feast in my last video, and for the past 2 or 3 days, all I've been eating is Korean barbecue and Korean barbecue leftovers. And this little bit of rice is the last of the remnants of it. And listen, I can already hear it. Keyboards clicking, typing away. Someone's just about to send a comment. Do your dishes. Your house is so dirty. Listen, first of all, I am completely out of water, which as you can see over there is why my water pump is off. So I haven't been able to do my dishes for a day and a half, and I'm hoping I can find somewhere today to fill it up. And 2, I don't have a dishwasher, so it's not as easy to just do my dishes every day. And I know it sounds like I might have a different excuse every day as to why my dishes aren't done, but some days I just really don't feel like doing them. And I guarantee you, if half of you guys took a camera through your house every single day and posted it on social media, there would be a lot of criticisms about some aspects of your home. So I keep the space as clean as I can. Sometimes I don't do my dishes, but all in all, my bed obviously isn't made, but I'll make that before we leave. And at the end of the day, I'm the only one living here, so if I leave dishes in the sink, it's not hurting anyone but me. And maybe some of my viewers with OCD. And I know refried beans look like, legitimately like a pile of poo. If you haven't had them before, I promise they are extremely good. So today on our journey, we're gonna be driving down a stretch of road that is probably one of the most famous, if not the most famous road in America, and that is the historic Route 66. So surprisingly enough, after living on the road for 2 years, I have never driven Route 66, at least in its entirety, or intentionally for any extended period of time. So I do want to make that road trip sometime this summer, from the start of Route 66 in Santa Monica all the way up to the end of it in Michigan, Wisconsin. But that'll be for a later date, because obviously today we're not driving the entirety of Route 66. We are driving one of the longest continuous sections of the road. We are starting out right here in the town of Kingman, and we're driving just about 70 miles to Seligman, Arizona, which is known as the birthplace of Route 66. Not because that's where it starts or where it ends, but because that's the town that first petitioned to turn it into a historic road and preserve it for future generations to appreciate, like myself. But before we get into the rest of the video, I always have people asking me, how do I stay connected while on the road to play video games, stream movies, and get work done when I have no Wi-Fi? And currently I have a few hotspot options, but none of them are quite like Unlimitedville. So thank you to them for sponsoring this video. And this thing is super easy to set up. Take it out of the box, comes with your router, cellular paddle antennas, and then a plug to plug it in. And right now I've just got mine hooked up on my desk right above where my Xbox is hooked up underneath. And once you plug it in, it takes about 3 minutes to kick on. And then once these lights are on and it's connected, you have Wi-Fi and you're good to go to do whatever you want, play games, stream movies. You can connect up to 250 devices on it, and depending on how close or how far you are from a cellular tower, because it runs on cellular data, will kind of determine how strong your signal is. But since this is unlimited, it's nice because I can update my games, I can stream 4K movies whenever I have good enough signal, which is 90% of the time. So you can plug this in, and as long as you have cell service, you can use it just like a Wi-Fi router. And then just like that, I'm connected online, ready to play some games on the go with my friends. And this thing is pretty cool. It's like the first true unlimited Wi-Fi router that I've ever been able to use, and the connection is pretty good. Not good enough for me to win in Fortnite though. But if you guys are like me and you live on the road, or you live somewhere where you don't have the best Wi-Fi and want to try this out, if you use code RyanToomey, which will be in the description, it's good for a $0 one-time membership fee, which is equivalent to $100 off your first order. So definitely give them a try. But I've got some friends getting on, so I gotta get to playing. He's one shot. He's one shot. I promise you he's one shot. What do you mean you shot him 7 times and he didn't go down? He was definitely one shot. I think it is time to get out of here. Hopefully find somewhere to fill up the tanks with water so I can do my dishes and have something to drink. Also, don't know if you guys can tell, but after 2 years I finally decided to buy new sheets. Don't know why I need to tell you that. It's not very exciting news. Before we leave and get out of this Cracker Bar parking lot, they do let me stay here for free, so a lot of the times I like to walk in and grab something from the general store. And they do have some cool stuff in here sometimes. Hi, is it possible to do just a coffee to go? Coffee? Yep. Thank you very much. Have a good one. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know they would do that, but I can't really drink it right now because it's like 9,000 degrees. So it's honestly kind of surprising, even to myself, that I haven't taken the time in the last 2 years to drive Route 66, because in a lot of ways I feel like Route 66 is kind of the embodiment of the spirit of adventure in America in like a physical form, because back in the 1920s when this road was first commissioned by Cyrus Avery and John Woodruff, it was kind of America's only lifeline from the Midwest out to California, and hundreds of thousands of people used that road as a path on their journey westward in search of a better life, money, and just being in California. There's just so much history and lost culture on this road because, as you guys know, or maybe don't know, with the advent of the interstate system, Route 66 and all of the towns that were along it were completely bypassed, and over the last 50, 60 years have just fallen into oblivion and disarray. So the first stop of our trip is right here in the town that we slept in, Kingman, Arizona. And this is kind of going to be our start on Route 66 today. So I think they've got some cool history and information in here that I want to check out before we head out there. I have not, but I did read about him online. He's known as the Angel of Route 66 because he was the first person in a town along Route 66 to organize and created the Arizona Route 66 Association, which made all of the Route 66 roads in Arizona a historic road to preserve them. And then after that, every single state pretty much followed suit, and now every state has its own Route 66 Association. What would you like people to know about Route 66?
Listening to the traveler, and if you listen to that person, you can gain so much wisdom for yourself.
So yeah, if you come here, you can kind of ask him questions. I think he's still alive. He's like 96, but he lives in Seligman and was a barber. I think he is retired in the last couple of years, but he was a barber there. So they got all this barbershop stuff. So this is a good map kind of this section of Route 66 we're gonna be driving. So we're going from right here, Kingman, all the way up through Hackberry, Valentine, Peach Springs, and then down here to Seligman. And if you look at the map, nowadays from Kingman, Route 40 bypasses all of this Route 66 and kind of just goes right through this area and back up to Seligman, and then follows kind of the same path over towards Flagstaff, which is where we're eventually going. I don't think we're getting there today. You guys want to talk about OG van lifers. People who traveled across the country in these prairie schooners are the true OG van lifers. Heck, all your stuff in there, 2 horsepower, all the way across the country. And this is the type of car that when the road was fully operational would be driving down it. And over here, actually, I watched a video on this one time on YouTube. This is actually an air conditioner. Back before cars had air conditioners. It was basically just a giant vent that you hooked onto the side of your car, and it would suck in air and push it into the cab, and that was your air conditioner. All right, let's get out of here. Continue down the road. See snow on the mountains over there in the distance. All right, so I just remember there's actually one last thing I got to do before we hit the road, and I actually just found out online that Interstate 40 in Arizona is shut down. So the only way to get to Flagstaff right now is actually to drive Route 66. Hoping the weather conditions aren't too bad, but before we get on the road, I gotta get my water tank filled up. And I think there should be a spot at this gas station on the way that I'll fill it up real quick. And that is actually the famous Mr. D's Diner. And I think I read online once that Oprah ate there or something, but it's been around since almost the start of Route 66. Pretty cool. There's a few places that you'll see like that that are still kind of open in some facet, but most of the places, even if they are open, are not what they once were. For example, I don't think that store was always the Old Town Vape. And technically we are on Route 66 right now, driving through the center of town in Kingman. And that's how a lot of the road was built back in the day. It was built to kind of interlink all of these kind of rural communities that kind of had no connection to the outside via a roadway. So a lot of the roads on Route 66 drive right through the center of a town. So yeah, there's Interstate 40. Right up there on that bridge. And this is Route 66 that goes straight up that way. So this is where the interstate kind of bypassed the entire need for this road. Online it says there is a water fill-up station here, which might be where those people are. There she is. All right, let's hit the road. So while I was at the gas station filling my water, I was looking at the highway report for I-40, and it's like full on blizzard conditions, 50-mile-an-hour winds, 20 degrees, driving snow. It is showing that it's open on Google Maps, but I'm hoping the route that I'm taking isn't as bad. All right, so this is the first stop on our trip, and that right there is Giganticus heticus, supposedly. Home of Giganticus heticus. It's a pretty cool name, but the store is closed, so we can't go in there, which kind of stinks. But this is not an original feature of Route 66. It's kind of what a lot of the things are today on the route, just people trying to build cool things and kind of revive the culture of the road. So this is just a giant green head in the shape of a kind of slightly tiki looking vibe at this gas station. But roadside attractions aside, there is a lot of history to be told about this road. So Route 66 is also known as the Mother Road and was officially established on November 11th of 1926 and became one of the most famous roads in the United States. It originally ran from Chicago through Illinois, through Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, where we are in Arizona, and then finally to Santa Monica in California. And it covered a total of 2,500 miles roughly. And it was essentially the first significant path for people to migrate west, especially during the Dust Bowl of 1930s. And it was honestly an economic lifeline for all of the small communities that it passed through. People who had businesses on the route saw a lot of growth with the influx of people traveling from east to west to get to California. And it created a lot of opportunities and pathways for people to kind of pursue their dreams, which is pretty cool. But as you can tell by the current state of the road, it obviously didn't last. As we talked about before, with the help of people like the Angel of Route 66, it's now kind of experiencing a revival and allows people like me to drive down it and see all of the history on the road. But yeah, there's just a lot of cool history and a lot of cool stories about this road. Also guessing there's a lot more people on the road today because of the closure. But even with that, there's really still not a lot of people on the road. This place looks so cool. You know, this is what you think when you think Route 66. And this is Hackberry General Store.
Yeah, usually.
So many dollars on the wall in here. What's the story behind the store? What did this used to be?
It's always been a general store since 1934.
What's the story behind the dollar bills?
I think there was a map of the Route 66 up there originally, and people started putting money up there, like where they were from, and then it just became an obsession.
And the lady at the desk said she didn't want to be filmed, but she gave me a good history of the place, that this always used to be a general store. Now it's kind of like a souvenir shop / general store. All these dollars that you see on the wall up here, they used to be, you can kind of see under it, it's like a map, and people would pin where they're from, but it's kind of just become a hodgepodge of dollars over the years. But got myself some stickers and a little snack. This really is such an interesting stretch of road. I can't help but imagine what it must have been like to drive down it in its heyday. All right, so I just put over on the side of the road here because I wanted to kind of point out these signs. I read about these online, that they're on this stretch of road, and I thought it was super cool. So I wanted to pull over before I drove by them. We're about 15 minutes outside of Seligman, and we actually are getting some snow. You can't really see it right now. It's like more of a misty snow than anything, but apparently Seligman's supposed to get 3 to 5 inches tonight. It's supposed to be blizzard conditions, so that should be interesting. ProMasters aren't known for how well they handle snow. And basically these signs are the Burma Shave signs, which is a company that went out of business. It was around when this road was an actual highway, and it's just a bunch of signs that have these words on them that you read in sequential order as you drive by. And these signs are replicas of the original Burma Shave signs. And they were put up by the state of Arizona in like 2021. You can see the Burma Shave right there. I think to try to get people to slow down as they read them, because if you can't really tell, this road is like just dead straight for miles and miles at a time with nothing else. So I don't know, I just thought it was pretty cool, so I pulled over. But we will be in Seligman in roughly 15 minutes. There we go, Seligman, birthplace of historic Route 66. So I was gonna say, I read online that this place is the birthplace of Route 66. And in my mind, it kind of felt like it was more a rebirth place of Route 66. But I just reread the sign and it says the birthplace of historic Route 66, which makes a little more sense. Roadside grill, you kill it, we grill it. And apparently these type of grills were actually popular back in the day, where you killed roadkill, you could bring it in and they would cook it for you. Obviously, they don't actually do it anymore, but still thought it was pretty interesting. But yeah, this is it. This is the main street of Seligman. A lot of abandoned houses and stores. Some look like there's still people staying in them. But apparently, from what I've read online and heard from a lady back at the market, this is the town that was that Radiator Springs was based off of. Got a bunch of gift shops, saloon over there. And these signs, I think the signs are what make Route 66 so cool. Old 50s style signs and architecture. But I do want to make a stop here at Angel's. It is closed, which kind of sucks. I think every place around here is actually closed. But I'm gonna get out and check these places out real quick. Apparently these places get pretty busy in the summertime. The lady back at the shop was telling me that sometimes in the summer that parking lot is completely full and you're basically shoulder to shoulder in there. But right now there's not too many people. I really wanted to get food at this place because I heard cool things about it. It's like everything is closed for the season and reopens in November, which doesn't make sense because it's currently February. I don't know. But these places are pretty cool. But the main place I wanted to see here in Seligman was Angel Delgadillo's actual barbershop. So that guy that we met virtually up in Kingman, this is the barbershop where he used to work at and cut hair up until about 4 years ago. This is his barbershop. Again, closed, so we can't go in. Would have been cool to get a haircut from him. And man, it is cold out. I filled up my diesel heater yesterday, so we should hopefully be able to stay nice and toasty warm as we ride out the potential blizzard. There's like a 40% chance. So eerie out here. But it was nice to get my first taste of Route 66. I will definitely be coming back probably this summer to drive it in its entirety. And there are a lot of sections of Route 66 that kind of merge up with the highway, so you're not on these back roads the entire time. I'm getting kind of hungry and it's getting kind of later in the afternoon, so I think I'm gonna go find somewhere to sleep tonight. I'm hopefully gonna be able to stay at this place nearby, depending on the road conditions. I saw about 5 miles down the road, just off of Route 66, there was this little pullout that I'm hoping I can pull into and camp for the night. I haven't seen a single car drive by since I left Seligman. Kind of eerily lonesome out here. All right, so this is apparently where it's at. Right back in there. I don't know if I want to pull back in there. I'll pull up there and we'll see. Doesn't look like it's too bad. Let me go check it out on foot before I drive up there. It is nice and gravelly, which is good. Yeah, this doesn't look like you would get too bad in the rain or in the snow. I think I'd still be able to get some traction. It's not really mud, it's more so just rocks. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't look too bad up here. I think we could probably find a spot. I'm gonna pull up back around to the other entrance though. Might pull in and take this spot right here. Got another person joining us tonight too, riding out the storm. At least we won't be alone. We're starting to get some snow already, at least some flurries. But yeah, it's a beautiful spot. I mean, great views, and we are right off of, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, maybe 50 yards, Route 66 right there. The only thing that really worries me about coming up here is I am, other than my winter snow tires I have on the van, very unprepared for driving in snow and being off-road. I don't have chains. I tried to find some pretty much all day yesterday because I knew I was going to be driving into a snowstorm. No stores had them that fit my tires. And I also tried to find traction boards, but not a single store where I was had them. So I was just kind of banking on being able to make it to Flagstaff and hopefully getting some supplies there, but I guess we'll see. Honestly, I haven't fully decided whether I'm going to stay here or not for the night. Just going to kind of keep an eye on the weather and play it by ear. It's not supposed to start snowing till like 7 a.m. tomorrow, so we've got some time. At least snowing a lot. And I really do want to keep the door open. I just like cooking with the door open. It's like 30 degrees Fahrenheit out, so bundle up a little bit. I might kick on my diesel heater too. Ooh, it is actually freezing out. I am going to kick on that heater. I hope it still works. I haven't used it in quite a while. As I was kind of researching the areas around Route 66 that I was going to check out, I happened to stumble upon that the cheeseburger was actually invented on Route 66. Kind of. On the way here when I was filling Kingman, I stopped by the store and I grabbed all the ingredients for making a cheeseburger up here. So we're gonna try to make a nice cheeseburger for dinner. So the reason that I say it was technically invented, and this is also debated widely for who has and who made the first cheeseburger. There's other places that trademarked the word cheeseburger. I think the one that was made on Route 66 out in California, they called it a burger with cheese, and other places after the fact trademarked the word cheeseburger. So it's heavily debated where it was actually invented. But we're going with the story it was invented on Route 66. The story basically goes that back in 1926, kind of right around the heyday of Route 66 and all of that kind of stuff, this kid Lionel, who was 16 years old at the time and working at his dad's burger joint, called the Right Stop. And it was located in Pasadena, California, just off of Route 66. And one day, out of just pure boredom, so the story goes, he decided to throw a slice of American cheese on a hamburger, which, fun fact, was invented in Hamburg, Germany. It was more so of a steak on a bun, but anyways, he decided to throw the slice of cheese on his hamburger, and thus cheeseburger was born. And as I said, they might have called it a different name, burger with cheese, whatever. The windy. But the first technical cheeseburger was actually created in Louisville, Kentucky, by a man named Charles Kalin, but he's not the one who trademarked the word cheeseburger. The word cheeseburger was actually trademarked. Louis Ballast of Humpty Dumpty Drive-In of Denver, and he trademarked the name in 1935. I don't think the trademark has held up since then, which I guess makes sense because everywhere in the world calls the cheeseburger and doesn't have to pay them. I almost forgot, throw on the apron. I got a lot of people telling me I need to throw this in the wash. I actually did laundry a few days ago and completely forgot to wash it. And my heater is not working right now. See if we can fix that. So I got some pretty nice beef here for this burger. I got some Wagyu beef from Walmart. So I'm just gonna hit it with some salt and some white pepper. That's all we're gonna do. All right, so I got our meat all nicely seasoned up. Before I do anything else, I'm gonna get one of these brioche sesame buns nice and toasted. I also turned the heater on again, so I'm hoping it kicks on. More so to keep my feet warm than anything else. But just get this butter nice and melted and then toast up some buns. It's gonna be a cold night tonight too if I can't get this heater to start working on me. The heater is making a weird noise. Hopefully it kicks on. Every time I turn that thing on, I just say a prayer that it works. I've done little to no maintenance on it. It's installed very crappily. So every time it works, it's like a godsend that it actually kicks on and keeps me warm. But look at that. Beautiful buns. Now we can get started cooking. I'm not just doing a plain cheeseburger because that's boring. So we got some thick cut bacon I'm gonna throw in there too. And lettuce and tomato. I love when bacon packaging is resealable. I hate getting bacon in those stupid packets that you open and then there's no way to reclose them and you just kind of have to like fold it over itself and put it back in the fridge. Oh. Smells so good. Oh, it's really starting to snow now. Look at this. Looks like styrofoam. Might have to close my door. Looks like it's just a passing cloud though. Also, my heater came on. It's blowing out nice hot air right at my legs. Feels so good. I think this bacon is just about done. Now we can get started cooking the meat. So I decided to make these balls a little bit smaller because I honestly prefer a smash burger myself. So we're gonna see if we can't make a smash burger. Cook it in the bacon grease too. Snow stopped, so that's good. I don't really have the proper smashing tools, so I'm just doing as best I can. Don't forget the cheese. Beautiful. I really do want to get a rig that's a little bit more capable too. 4x4, I don't have to worry about the snow, I don't have to worry about the mud to an extent. It'd be so much less stressful. Anyways, I think those burgers are just about done. We got one patty, 2 patties, tomato, onion, bacon. Top it off with a little ketchup, mayonnaise. And that, my friends, is what you call a burger. Oh, I'm so excited. I got some extra supplies left over. Some more meat, tomatoes and stuff, just in case I get hungry later. But I finally have water. Wish I got some french fries or something to eat with this. If I get hungry again, I'm just gonna make another burger. Look at that. That looks so good. Cheers. Absolutely decadent. That's a pretty good burger. Not to my own horn or anything, but it is quite tasty. And I know I used to like rate my meals. I don't know why I stopped, but I think I give this a solid 8.4. I mean, it's just a burger, but it is a good burger. I do think it's getting colder by the second though. I'm gonna get this door closed here pretty soon, warm up a little bit. I think I'm gonna take some time to get this all cleaned up, get my dishes done. There we go, look at that. Dish is done. And the sun is just about fully set. I mean, pretty much entirely set. Still flaring a little bit. It is that time of year and it is that temperature outside where I'm breaking out the tea again. If you've been watching my channel for long enough, this tea, Tazzo, however you say it, glazed lemon loaf, chef's kiss. It genuinely tastes like you're eating a glazed lemon loaf dessert. So good. But I want to take this jacket off, so I'm gonna get this door closed. Let the heater really get it nice and hot in here. It is currently 29 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that is in Celsius, will go right here. And this heater will easily keep it 70, 80. If I really wanted it to, obviously I don't. But if I put it on its high setting, it would essentially cook me alive in here overnight, which is kind of nice because I can keep it on low pretty much the entire time I'm in here and not really use that much diesel fuel, so I can keep it going for like 4 or 5 days if I need to. And also I utilize something I haven't done in the van for a very, very long time, just because I'm never patient enough to wait for it. But I kicked on the hot water heater. I did my dishes with hot water, so my hands weren't freezing cold the entire time. Now, we've got some nice steaming hot water. Feels absolutely amazing. Oh, there really is just something cozy about knowing it's below freezing outside and 60 degrees in here. Nice candle lit. Turn off these harsh overhead lights. Cozy. So, I'm gonna kind of keep the van clean tonight just in case I need to bug out. I'm keeping an eye on the weather. Report right now is still the same, but if it gets any worse, I might bug out of here and find a spot somewhere at a truck stop or something before I get snowed in on Route 66. I'm also not familiar with what the plowing timeline is for Route 66. I couldn't find anything online, so yeah. But anyways, I've got my tea, I've got my candle lit, TV's on. Probably gonna hang out, get cozy up in bed, and watch a movie. So I will check in with you guys in the morning. Can't really see much, but definitely got some snow last night. I did end up staying last night because I just didn't feel like driving anywhere else. And worst case, I would stay today and wait it out and hopefully not get stuck, but I guess we'll see. Good news is it's very warm in here. It's 30 degrees outside. My feet are a little cold because I don't have any insulation on my floor. It is, I don't know if you can see that, 63 degrees Fahrenheit, which is this in Celsius. So nice and warm in here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my heater off though. Save some diesel because I don't really need it during the day. And I did have it off all night. I got up early this morning and just clicked on and then crawled back in bed. We're definitely snowed in, at least for today. I don't think we're gonna be going anywhere. I don't know if I already said this, but I did hear some snow plows going by super early this morning. 2 or 3 of them have gone by since I woke up, so that's good. At least these roads are getting plowed. But definitely won't be going anywhere today, at least, because I'm heading towards Flagstaff and they got absolutely hammered with like 12 to 18 inches. So the highway and the streets up there are probably gonna be pretty rough, so I'm not gonna head up that way yet. So we just get to enjoy our snow day. Definitely gonna get myself all nice and bundled up here. Oh God, I can't see. The front windshield is completely covered in snow. And snow is pretty much one of the only weather conditions where I won't wear my Birkenstocks. I gotta put real boy shoes on. Let's head out into this winter wonderland. Oh, wow. Alrighty. Oh, there's actually a pretty decent amount of snow, wow. It's a good 5 inches. And it's still coming down. Definitely a little bit snowed in here. Don't know how the van's gonna do handling this snow, but I'm gonna go walk out and check the road out and see how it looks. By far, this is the most snow that I've ever been in the van, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how it goes. But there is a decent amount. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be going anywhere today. Roads look kind of horrible right now. That's the road right there. And I do hear a car coming. Oh, it's a plow. Look at that. So yeah, we are good. As long as we can make it out of this and to the road. Hopefully we'll be fine, but we might have an issue with snowplows kind of making a big hump over that. So we might have to shovel some stuff out when we go to leave. But that'll not be something that I worry about right now. I'll worry about that a little bit later. Curious to see how the van's gonna handle the snow too. It's definitely still snowing a lot out there though. So I do have some gloves, so I think I'm gonna go wipe off my windshield and give the van a quick test drive, see if I am stuck here or not, or if the van can actually move. See if we're stuck. It doesn't seem like it. We can get some movement. I think we should be able to make it out of this if we need to. Seemed like it was fine, but I guess I didn't really drive in the snow that much. I think the snow is supposed to stop in about 2 hours from now. We'll see how deep it actually gets, but I don't really think about that though. The snowplow is making a giant mound right at the entrance of this off-road kind of area. So I'm definitely a little bit worried about that, but nothing we can do now. We're already here. And I have no equipment for this. I have no shovels, no max tracks, no chains. Genuinely have pretty much nothing to get me out of here if I get stuck. Hopefully the snow stops kind of sooner than later, but I'm really holding my breath. It's not coming down too heavy right now though, so that's good. I also did drive around a little bit more. I don't know if you can see from my tracks, I drove up there and I drove out to the left, and snow's pretty dry, so it's not too bad to drive in, at least right now. Maybe once the snow stops a little bit later, I'll try to get out of here, but for right now, I think we're kind of just stuck until it does stop. Since we're stuck here, might as well make the best of it. Have ourselves some breakfast. All right. A literal Honda Civic just drove by. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Or maybe I'm just a little bit worried because I'm not very experienced with driving in the snow. This is actually my first time being, well, I guess technically second time being snowed in somewhere. First time it was only an inch of snow, and it was in Sedona, and I got stuck in a foot of mud. So I guess technically I wasn't stuck in the snow. And here I'm not so much worried about the mud, but the amount of snow we're supposed to get. So I think we might get another 2-3 inches. As long as it doesn't come up over the bumper of the van, I feel like we should be okay to make it out of here. But I think once I get to Flagstaff, I'm gonna see if I can find some traction pads and maybe some snow chains, since a lot of the rest of this journey is gonna be in weather like this and in the snow. I also have to be kind of cognizant of how much energy I'm using. Kind of using the door as light right now because it's not blowing in too hard. The snow's actually letting up a little bit. It is super cloudy out, so I'm not really getting much power in through my solar, especially with all the snow that's on top of them right now, so I might have to go knock that down at some point. I have to double layer up on some socks because my floor is freezing cold. It's the only place in my van that I didn't put insulation, and the only reason that I didn't put insulation there is because I wanted the headroom, because another 1.5 inches of insulation would made it unlikely that I would be able to stand in here, so I had to make a sacrifice. Cold feet, but I'm able to stand. This really turned into more than a Route 66 adventure. Turned into getting caught in a snowstorm adventure. I just gotta wait for that coffee to finish brewing. My feet are freezing cold. Nice and hot. It is pretty peaceful out here too. I think the snow just makes everything so much quieter. Nice crispy bacon. This is nice though. I have missed the snow. I grew up on the East Coast, so I'm kind of used to having very defined seasons. All right, so I closed the door because it is pretty cold out. But breakfast is done, and there's really not much I can do other than wait out the snow and then try to get out of here once it stops, and kind of just hope I didn't make a bad decision coming here and staying the night. Snowplows are coming by pretty regularly though, so that's good in terms of the main road. My own personal winter wonderland. Our friends, I guess, had the right idea. They left before the storm came. I thought they were staying here all night, which made me feel a little bit better, but it looks like I was abandoned, so now I'm all alone. These tires are snowflake rated though. Got these up in Alaska. Or actually in Canada, but you can see the little snowflake right there. Mud and snow tires. I don't even know where I'm gonna go if I do get out of here. I'll anchor down at a gas station, wait till the highways get plowed. We are pretty close to the main road. It's just that last section up there that I'm probably gonna either have to get out my poop shovel or just try to punch through it. That'll depend on how much snow we end up getting before it stops and how high the plows plow a berm there. But I think I have about half of my battery bank. Yeah, I've got about half. So I should be good. I'm not gonna worry about wiping the solar panels off just yet. So I think for now I'm just gonna wait. I think the snow is supposed to stop within the next hour, but it's kind of hard to tell because we are kind of right on the edge of the storm where that big snowflake is, and the storm is moving up and this way, so it should hopefully stop snowing here pretty soon. And then I'm just gonna wait for the snowplow to drive by 1 or 2 times and probably get out of here. There's a truck stop maybe 20-30 minutes down the road, and then we're just gonna hunker down there for the night, let the roads get treated, and then head into Flagstaff tomorrow. It looks like the snow is starting to let up a little bit. Definitely still coming down, but it's a lot lighter. So it's been about 15 minutes and the snow has stopped. Don't know if it's stopped for good or what, but at least it stopped for now. Warming up my toes in front of the heater. They're freezing cold. Now, that I'm sitting down, my butt's kind of cold. But I think it is time to get this turned off and see if we can get out of here. No point in waiting anymore. The snow plows have driven by a couple times in the last 20 minutes. I'm sure the roads are fine. I wish I had a real snow shovel, but I think once we get up to the road, I'm gonna have to use my poo shovel, try to dig a path out of that berm right on the road. And I really think this is the maximum amount of snow that I would be comfortable with. We've gotten another about 1.5 to 2 inches since I last was outside. So, we'll see. See how she handles. 2-wheel drive, snow tires, about 7 inches of snow. This would be a good test for anyone thinking about getting a ProMaster. I'm not gonna go down that way because there's a steep hill down there. I'm just gonna turn around and come back the way we came in yesterday. Just worried about that front axle kind of becoming a snow plow. But we'll see. We're a little stuck here already. Let's see what's going on. All right, so there's a little rut I drove down into. Might have to try and pull out there and come around this way. I don't know, this snow is pretty deep. All right, we're moving again. So we're getting stuck right down in here. Doesn't seem to be as rutted, and I've already got tracks here. So maybe I can at least get myself pointed that way and then kind of power through it, but we'll see. I don't know, we might be screwed here. Just keep the momentum going. Try to punch through this snow. Ah! I sat there and dug out of that for 40 minutes to get myself enough boost to kind of just punch through all of it. Woo! We made it out and we're heading down to lower elevation. Oh, it feels so good. And the roads aren't the best, but they're really not too bad. And they should only be getting better as we drive down because we're getting into some lower elevation type spots. Oh man, it feels so good to be out of that though. That is probably the maximum amount of snow a ProMaster can handle, and it barely handled it. If the ground that I pulled in on was more muddy and not as rocky as it was, I don't think I would have been able to make it out of there. But luckily we did, and we're back on paved roads. So now I just gotta find a spot to hunker down while we wait for the roads more up north towards Flagstaff, because they got absolutely hammered up there. They got 12 to 18 inches, so probably head up tomorrow morning once the roads are nice. And also, we are still on Route 66, and this is never the image of Route 66 I had in my head of snow and freezing cold. I always think, I mean, I guess it does run all the way up north to Illinois, but you always think like desert, like the movie Cars. Route 66. I'm not sure how the road conditions look further up, so we're gonna pull into this gas station and kind of call this home, I think, for the night. Alrighty. This is where I'm gonna call home until tomorrow morning, because it is still snowing pretty heavily up in Flagstaff, so I'm not trying to risk it on the highways. I trust myself, but not necessarily other people. But to be honest, it was actually kind of nice to be in that snow and kind of get a gauge for, which is kind of part of the reason why I stayed there, a gauge for how much snow the ProMaster can handle and what my limits are. And I think that amount of snow and that terrain is a two-wheel drive ProMaster's limit. And I think if I had stopped pulling out of there to either dig out that mound that the snowplows made or do anything, I don't think I would have made it. I think I would have gotten stuck and had to dig myself out for another 45 minutes, but we made it, and that's all that matters. So the next day and a half, I'm gonna be hunkered down at this gas station, call it home. They got nice hot food inside, a Subway. So all good and ready for the next adventure. But I think that's it for this video. I got some work to get done and I got a bunch of time and not a lot of stuff to do at this gas station. So I'm gonna get that done, head inside, get myself some hot food, hot drinks. And as always, I truly appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, think about clicking that subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. And I will catch you guys next time.